Profile. Report story. The trip to the hospital was a smooth one. On her way, she thought of the conversations she had with her friends about going to Naboo Island. She contemplated on whether or not she would come. Maybe I should ask Inko first, she thought. She looked forward on seeing Izuku again even though it was painful for her to look at his unconscious body. Every day she wishes that he will finally wake up. Ochako. Good morning, you're early. Inko greeted, embracing Ochako. Good morning, Mrs. Midoriya. Uraraka responded with a smile on her face. I told you to call me Inko, dear. Inko chuckled. I'm sorry. It's hard to get used to it, she replied, embarrassed. By the way, Bakugo wanted to say hi. Did he? Such a sweet boy. I doubt it, she thought. Ochako then walked towards Izuku to see how he was doing. I thought Ua started a new semester, she asked. Why aren't you in school, dear? Well, it turns out Ua wanted our class to take a 3-month-long vacation in Naboo Island, she explained, so we don't really have any real classes, for now at least. Are you going? Izuku's mother asked. I'm thinking of staying here with Deku, she replied. 3 months is a long time. What if he wakes up? She smiled faintly as she held Izuku's hand. Plus, I don't want to leave you alone to take care of him. Who will take care of you? Inko shed a single tear at her statement. You're such a sweet girl, Ochako. Inko smiled. I can see why my Izuku loves to talk about you. But I think you should go to that vacation. She smiled, laying her hand on Uraraka's shoulder. What? What about Deku? What about you? Ochako uttered, surprised by Inko's response. Don't worry about him, dear, and don't worry about me, Inko assured. Besides, you've been going back and forth to this hospital for the 2 months just to see my Izuku. Inko then grabbed Ochako's hands. You should take a break this time. We'll be fine, Inko smiled. I know my son wouldn't want you to risk your own happiness. Do yourself a favor by choosing yourself this time, okay? Ochako began to tear up and hugged Inko. Also, smile, dear. We should be strong for Izuku, Inko added. Motivated by Inko's words, she began to lit up again little by little. I'll try, Ochako replied, not letting go from Inko's embrace. Don't try, dear. Do, she chuckled. Don't worry. When Izuku wakes up, you'll be the first person I'll call, Inko reassured. Thank you, Inko. Besides, I want to see my son's reaction when he finds out his girlfriend's been worried sick, she joked. What? Gee, girlfriend, I'm not. Her face began to turn crimson and accidentally used her quirk on herself and began to float all over the room. You're saying you're not Izuku's girlfriend? Inko replied, equally surprised. I'm sorry, dear. It's just, you've been visiting my Izuku every day for the last 2 months and Izuku tends to talk about you often, so I kind of assumed you two were dating for some time, so I didn't ask. Inko began to use her quirk to pull Uraraka's watch so the brunette would be pulled towards her. I assumed Inko's quirk that attracts small objects depends mainly on weight, so since Uraraka's quirk makes her weightless, I assumed it would work. In a writing perspective, it seems like a good idea. It's okay, Inko. I actually want to. Her face still crimson while she released the quirk. Before she could finish her sentence, Inko knew what the brunette was about to say. Are you going to tell him when he wakes up? Inko asked. I plan to. Good. If you don't, I will, Inko joked. They both laughed at their conversation. It was the first time they both felt some kind of relief. Even though Izuku's still not waking up, his presence alone gave both women hope. Before they knew it, a few hours passed. She then walked towards Izuku's bed and held his hand so she could say goodbye for the day. I have to go now, Deku. Wake up soon, okay? She uttered. She then hugged Inko. Goodbye, Inko. Thank you for today. Please don't overexert yourself, she smiled. Inko's resolve really changed Ochako's mood. She decided that she would join her classmates and enjoy her time in Naboo Island. She began to feel excited by that and thought of things she would do there. Although Izuku's current state still worries her, she decided to take the advice of Inko and take a breather. Don't worry, I will. Take some time off, sweetie. Make plans for your trip, we'll be alright, Inko smiled. Be careful on your way home, okay? I will, Ochako reassured. Thanks again, Inko. I'll call before we leave, she added. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank.